Welcome to the Thursday Night 9, your weekly hangout with the Amateur Players Tour. Join hosts Matt Mender and Matt Fegley as they dive into recaps, rules, and what's coming up next across the tour. It's by the players, for the players, and it all starts right now, live on the Thursday Night 9.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm here Thursday Night 9 with backup Fegley. What is that about?
I have to tip my cap to Fegs. He's the regular host. I'm not going to bring the same panache as he has or anything like that, but I'm going to fill in the best I can.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't think you have a bucket hat. So
No, I do not. I do have one. I probably should have worn that.
Yeah, I would say that would have been the ultimate tribute to Fegs. He's out taking care of some stuff tonight, so we are moving on. I know it's been a couple weeks. It's been some interesting times in the APT family. To be at 9. Recently back from Scottsdale. For those that don't know, Ches here, the beloved chapter owner from Phoenix, Tucson, and Chicago. We could probably spend all night talking about how that happened. But you somehow handle it. Lots of frequent flyer miles on American. I don't know how you do it from O'Hare Airport, but that's a whole nother deal. But we can start there. So how about this? 18 minutes flying time from Chicago to Springfield last night and 43.
Yeah. That actually happens a lot at O'Hare. When you land there, you park in like West Hoffman Estates and then drive the rest of the
way. Quite interesting. Always fun. You know, thankfully we didn't taxi as long as the flight to Phoenix took. That would have been bad. But the flight to Springfield, it is pretty short. So we'll give them some benefit of the doubt. But just got back. Great weekend in Scottsdale, the Cinco de Mayo at Greyhawk. What was your kind of takeaway from the weekend?
I was exhausted.
That's fair.
Actually, just fantastic. I mean, the number of players we had from around the country and town. We had an event with the Phoenix chapter at Las Sendas in Mesa on Saturday, an elevated event. We had 80 players. And then we had the 130 plus players at Greyhawk for 2 days on Sunday, Monday, and then the APT swag collaboration on Tuesday. It was a long 4 days, but very rewarding.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was nice to get the Swag Golf Club concept finally out in the open. I know we've been talking about it like for almost 18 months. And so it was nice to, kind of get an event. The first event, you're always kind of trying to figure out, okay, what's this going to be like? What's the feel? It was nice to get everybody on the golf course, play some great golf. And it was kind of fun to see, the different mix of players we had, a little different than, APT events, but a good group of guys. We had a great time.
Yeah. And not just different players, but just a little bit different vibe.
Right.
We at the APT kind of pride ourselves on, running a professional event and that type of thing. And this was professional. It was just a little more laid back. Focus was a little less on scoring and more on having a good time. But nothing wrong with that. Just a different vibe for sure.
Yeah, it was certainly interesting to have a few groups come up and just say, hey, look, you want to post our scorecards, that's great, but we do not care. So we just had a good time. Enjoyed the guys from Swag. Lots of great giveaways at that event. The lunch buffet was awesome, with Tito's being on site on nicotine, DraftKings all being on site, Cleveland Strixon with the chipping contest, which certainly ran by a local legend. You could have picked a little bit easier of a hole, I'll say that, because it was tough to get it close.
Yeah. Was that you and Frankie that chose the location for that?
I was going to blame you, but it was on the other side of the green.
Yeah, all I did was throw it. I was able to throw one in. I didn't chip it in, but I threw one in, and then kicked one in a little bit later. But I didn't even try to chip it. Yeah,
no, it was quite a fun event, and so getting through in that next event is a really good opportunity for APT members to get involved in one of these fun events. A 36-hole one-day event at NCR Country Club. If you ever played Casey's event over there, same concept except a team event. We're going to scramble on the north course and then 4-ball on the south. If you've not played the north, if it wasn't wedged between Moraine and the South Course at NCR, that place would be the best golf course in any area. You take that golf course out, put it somewhere else, and it is fantastic. It just happens to be around quite a bit of class. And the South Course at NCR doesn't need any introduction. Hosts one of the top 100 private clubs in the country for sure. So that'll be a fun event. 36 holes one day, lunch included, bunch of swag. It's a great deal to be able to play those golf courses, and it'll be a lot of fun in June.
Yeah, that's one I've not been to. I get around a decent amount, but that one I have not played.
Really, really good golf course. Highly, highly recommend that place. Every year we have our biggest spring event in St. Louis the same day that Casey does NCR. It always makes me sad because if I didn't have an event that day, I would be at NCR every year. That place is so good. So much fun to play.
Yeah.
They run a great event, but second opportunity to play it in a swag golf club deal, which will be a lot of fun. But what was your takeaways for the weekend? You had a couple first-time major champions coming through. One of them won, and Wallace Nelson, which I think came on and made a statement that he's here to stay in the National Player of the Year race, and wants everybody chasing to know that Nationals are in Phoenix this year, and he will be there.
Yeah. Wally came on this year, started playing in Phoenix. Great guy, loves golf, great stick, and he's been probing. He's been asking questions. What do I need to do here? What do I need to do to compete for National Player of the Year? So he's scoped out Pryor. I know that, and he's very serious about it. So. Always good to have new blood come in and liven things up, and that's definitely what he's doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Got some people joining the chat saying hello to Chris Miner. Spelling his last. Hopefully, he's having a good night. Watching the live. That could be dangerous in the chat.
Yep.
Make it a little spicy. We just did have Cinco de Mayo out in Scottsdale. But Paul Hess coming from behind in Division II was fun to watch. A little bit of a tough round in round one, but then came back, played really well on day two. Trying to pull up some of these results here while we're looking at it. So,
I think he kind of surprised everybody. He was quite a bit back at the beginning, and then, that final grouping with the top four guys kind of dropped off, and he just all of a sudden there he was at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Came through, and then Mark Iriarte, he's newer to the tour this year, but he's got a major win at Bayonet and finished in second, just 2 shots back. He's going to be another name to watch. As North American Championship moves west, I think you're going to see some guys out west that you may not have seen. As competitive necessarily out east, that they're licking their chops for this chance out in Phoenix. So it's going to be fun to watch. But Paul Hess, mid-60s guy, plays the open tee. Beating the young guys from their own tee, which is it's been fun to watch. Played really, really well. But a stacked leaderboard there. 5 guys within 4 shots. As hard as Greyhawk played is pretty good. And then Division III, proud of this guy, James Heath. Member for almost 6. This is his 6th season as a member. First major victory, got it done. Came from behind, won. To come from behind, get a 2-shot win over keep an eye on from Southern California.
Yeah, James has come out to Phoenix, I think, every year since I've been the chapter owner, and played in at least an event or two. So another guy that travels and loves it and takes it seriously, and he's always fun to have around.
Yeah, he was super excited getting to take pictures, with the sunset and, with the all the scenery in Phoenix and Greyhawk. Such a beautiful place.
He's looking for those pictures, so he's looking for them. Mackie, that's the guy to get him to.
Absolutely. Division 4 came down to the wire too. I know you were proud of this gentleman, another first-time major winner. Was able to hold off pretty big charge from Brad Forsyth.
Yeah, and Forsyth was not in their foursome. I actually got to watch up close and personal for about 12 holes that D4 leading group. And I was kind of just watching the leaderboard because Brad was the one guy that wasn't in that group that was in the mix, and he made a charge. But Marty played so well on day one, and then did what he had to do to win on day two, and he was so excited afterward.
No, absolutely, it's fun to watch it when it really matters to somebody, as you see that win really accomplish. Of note in third place was Mike Moynihan from St. Louis, promoted 5 to D4. He struggled a little bit in D4 the first year, and his first cash in the major was a third place finish in this event. I know he was super excited about that, those are some of the ones that are fun to see, right? You love seeing the people that are just trying to get better, and to see them be successful and the hard work pay off is really cool.
Yeah, I had several conversations with him, and he just kept talking about how lucky he feels to be able to play on tour and compete, and he's just such a good guy. I actually ran into him at our place, JoJo Coffee House, when I met Lance Burbank for breakfast on whatever morning it was, Wednesday morning or Tuesday morning, whatever. All the days ran together for me, but yeah, he was in there having breakfast with another player. I think it was Scott Klein, and yeah, just loves being part of APT.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for those of you, we'll get to the NAC here in a little bit tonight, but JoJo Coffee House, if we're talking about must-go places in Scottsdale, you and I both agree from a breakfast spot, there is no other spot.
Yeah, great service, great vibe, great food, and the coffee's the best.
Absolutely. So definitely, if you're coming out to Scottsdale, Old Town Scottsdale, JoJo Coffee House, they should pay us for this endorsement.
I tell everybody about it. I've probably sent 50, 60 people over there, and I don't get any kickbacks. I just love it.
Yeah, it's a good spot. So Division 5, Tommy Weatherby, another first-time winner.
Yes. I just met Tommy for the first time this weekend over at Las Sundas, and seems like a really good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fun to watch him get his first win. Another one-shot win. Top 3 in D5 separated by 2 shots. So first, second, and third all a shot apart. That's what you love to see. I mean, when you look at it, we talk about, when Fegley's on, I'll brag on Fegley for a minute, the work that him and his competition committees put in. But, the majors are really where it comes out. You're not seeing people run away with events, especially on the biggest stages where everybody's been vetted. It's super cool to see, 2 shots separate the top 3 in D5. 1 shot separates the top 2 in D4. In D3, 5 players within 5 shots. Everything's super competitive, right? In Division 2, 2 shots separate the top 2. Just really competitive divisions across the board. Scores are where they're supposed to be. Nobody's coming in saying they're a 7 and really are a 2.
Yeah, I think Fegley and that competition committee, you can't say enough about what they're doing. And not only in the example you just gave, but in the net games that we're running this year, which are becoming increasingly popular because you can play in a massive field. Right. And basically you're competing against yourself to some extent. How well can you play based on what you're supposed to be doing? And those guys, those things, I was as skeptical as anybody in the country. I didn't want to run them. We held off on running them until this year. But the way these guys have been assigning players and vetting players, it's legitimate. And I actually just sent something out to my Chicago players today about the net games, talking, endorsing them, talking about how I didn't think they'd work, but they're great. They work.
Yeah, you look at Mid-Am Net this week. 3-way tie at +5 to take Mid-Am Net for the 2 days. Tiffany McMillan, by the way, love her in St. Louis playing. She's like a 30 handicap, so starting to cash for the first time. So she finished in 4th. Senior Net, you go -2, -1, and then +3, +4, +4, +4, +5. So money line and Senior Net was +8 for 2 days. So net 76 gets paid.
Yeah, and I think it's important to point out the thing about those games that people really love is you can have a great round for you, a great round, and be like, that's as well as I can play. And someone else just happened to have a career round the same day and you don't win, but you're gonna probably end up taking the net. So it gives you kind of that extra chance at some hardware, and I just think that's why the net games I think it supplements. I would never want to be just a net tour by any stretch, but I think it
Right.
supplements what we do really well.
Well, I think it's a couple things, and I appreciate you pointing out that you were a skeptic. I was also a skeptic for the longest time. I was very much, honestly, if our team had their way, we probably would have went to the net format a couple years earlier. I was probably Jody and I both were probably the biggest holdouts on it until we started to really look at it and see what it would do. And so, like you said, it rewards the great round that you play because you're playing against yourself, and so there's always incentive to try to be better, right? And but then the second thing is you feel like you're not really in a good spot and fitting in a division. You get promoted and you're mad about it. I understand that, but if you go to an 8 and you get moved to Division 2 as an 8, you can compete really well in the net games as well. And so as you're getting better, you're working and you're not really in a spot you feel like you're fitting really well with how the divisions break down, instead of just being kind of stuck in the doldrums until you either get better or get worse. You constantly get rewarded for improving.
Yeah. It's just a good fit. It fits what we do.
So, yeah, it's been fun, and look forward to extending that. I know, obviously, we've got a mid-am net and a senior net player of the year on the local level every chapter, as well as the Worldwide Golf National Player of the Year race. That will conclude a Weekapaw, which will be fun. So let's talk NAC a little bit. Over the last week, our team was out at Greyhawk, but we also were making visits to every place in the North American Championship rotation. And man, I'm super excited. Saturday and Sunday, everybody's playing Weekapaw. So if you sign up for the NAC, you're playing Weekapaw Choya, you're playing Weekapaw Sawero, and then each division is going to play a different course on Friday to feed to that. We'll have those announcements soon. But I'll be honest, man, this is the best golf for a championship our guys will have seen the entire time. We say it right now.
I mean, we've played some good ones. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I mean, Weekapaw is it's one of my favorite places in the country. It's really good. Everybody gets to play that, and then the 4 courses that we've paired it with on Friday are all staples for our chapter here in Phoenix, and you just can't go wrong in any of them. Yeah,
right. I mean, Aguila is the farthest out because it's kind of southwest, but a great golf course. It's a muni just like Papago.
It's like the gem. Yeah, it's the gem of the desert because by us because it's reasonably priced and always in really good shape. I mean, occasionally they're doing some work here and there, but they do it so that it will be in great shape. Every event that we've played there has been great.
Right. It's just a fun golf course to play. Like, you can't go wrong with Aguila. It's really, really good. They can play anywhere they want, and they choose Papago. Great track, great staff. Lookout Mountain's got some of the most picturesque holes in the country, for sure.
Yeah, that one people are gonna have their battery on their phone die because they're taking so many pictures and videos.
Yeah, that place is awesome. And then Las Sendas, I would say you want to play a practice round around that place because that place was really good, but a little tricky. It's a good golf course.
It's a tough course. Elevated greens everywhere. Great, but it's in great shape, and it's not an easy track, but it's one that I love playing.
Right, and Weekapaw, both courses are easily in the top 10 in Arizona on everybody's list. Weekapaw Saguaro is pretty much the consensus number 1. On pretty much any list you look at. I'll be honest, if I rank them, Choya, I like Choya better.
So I was talking to someone about this weekend, actually a couple of different people about this weekend. I've never found anybody that doesn't like one or the other more. And usually it's I like this and I like Choya, I don't like Saguaro, or vice versa. But there's not a lot of in between. I mean, they're very different courses. It's amazing on that property that they were able to carve out such different courses for 2 days. So for those of you who struggle on day 1, you're going to be playing a totally different golf course on day 2. And if you struggle on day 1, you may be able to make a run on day 2 for that reason.
Right. No, it's going to be a really good championship test for involved. Fun. And the seniors no slouch either. I mean, the Raptor at Greyhawk is another one that's on the top of everybody's list for golf courses. And Eagle Mountain, I'll call it Baby Troon all day long. Eagle Mountain's one of my favorite golf courses to play in the desert for sure.
Yeah, the two senior ones are great, and everybody's going to play both of them, just like it being at Weekapaw. So, yeah, it's a great lineup. It'll be a great week. Hoping it'll be down in the 90s around that time.
Right.
But you never know. We'll see.
Yeah, and we're talking Champions Dinners that last year drooled over the Champions Gift, the dinner at Adega Guacha. That's absolutely coming back again, and so North American Champions and National Players of the Year. Make plans to be there Friday night. There will be a Champions Dinner. We're not quite ready to announce the venue, but visited the top two finalists, and having to make a choice between those two is going to be exceedingly difficult.
Yeah, but you can't go wrong with either one of them. So
no, they're both really good. It's definitely going to have more Mexican vibe this year, being in Phoenix for sure.
He means Mexican food.
What?
You mean Mexican food?
Yes. Might get a mariachi band. You never know.
You never know.
So knowing you'd do something like that.
It's a nice touch.
Definitely Champions make plans to be there. We got to ask about the par 3. We got to talk about that. I mean, there are some par 3 opportunities in Scottsdale for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So stay in. Tax run rates. We're going to do a skins game on Thursday out of Weekapaw in the afternoon. Wednesday night, I plan on being in town. Just going to go ahead and say that. Could be fun. So one of the most famous par 3 courses in the world is in. It's not that far from. So we'll find something fun to do. You won't be.
Yep, without a doubt. No. Now, one of the things I'm getting a ton of questions about now, especially after this weekend, from our players, is what do I have to do to play in this thing? What do I have to do to ensure that I get locked in and I'm eligible to play, and how do I get in, all that good stuff. We're getting those emails like crazy right now,
which is great. So this is one of the great things I love about our model. And so to be eligible, divisions 2 through 5, you got to get 6 competitive in 6 seasons. So that started November 1st of 25 through the North American Championship. You got to get 6 rounds. That gets your handicap locked in to make you eligible. Division 1 players, it's 3 rounds. Less concerned about your handicap. So play on your local chapter, get some rounds in, get some tournaments in. You can earn priority exemptions, which means you get the first crack at it. There's only 360 spots. Once those are gone, they are gone for the NAC. We've sold it out every year now for several years. And so looking forward to that. But you can earn, based on how you play on the local level, you can earn a priority exemption, which means you'll get the nice little invitation in the mail and get priority access. It opens for priority registration in the middle of July, and then registration opens to all APT members in August. So, and this should be a good year. This is one I would not want to miss. I'm just pointing that out. So,
yeah, and then the follow-up question we get to is divisions. What division am I going to be in if I'm on the line? There's guys that are always nervous about, oh man, if I play too well here at the end of the year, I get bumped right before nationals. What happens?
Right. This is a great time to bring in our guest. I just gotta. He's sitting backstage with that mustache.
There he is.
I don't know if I appreciate being called special.
So I don't have
the myth, the legend.
To welcome you, or I would definitely be playing them.
I can only just now start hearing things again.
So, but yeah. Anyways, Rich, we're talking through, and the reason I wanted to bring Jody on for that, it's always asked, like, what led you to start the APT? And Jody and I have different reasons. uh, that kind of brought points. One of the key things that brought Jody to that point was a conversation with another tour owner about this very thing. I got a 4-footer to win my local finals, and if I make it, I'm going to get promoted for the national tournament in 2 weeks from now. And if I miss it on purpose, I can stay in my division. Like, this makes no sense. And so, Jody, I'll let you comment a little bit on that, because I think a lot of the crazy math that Fegley and the competition committee have been working on to try to address this really comes out of that simple thing of our play in the division and nationals that they played in all season long.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole thing is you want people, the way we designed the entire structure of the tour was to create incentive for players to continue to play and play hard and aggressively as the season went on. One of the things that we've experienced and seen in other models that are out there is that everybody's really hot to trot and ready to go early in the season, in the spring and the summer, and then they feel like once they've kind of gotten out of touch and can't catch the leaders, the points leaders, then people start falling off and your numbers start lowering as you get into the summer heat in July and August. And then those of us that would be at or near the top of the leaderboard or points board, had to start making decisions as to how many events you want to play. Do you put yourself at risk at getting bumped so late in the year, losing that points lead that you had accumulated up to that point by getting bumped to a new division, and then more importantly, kind of putting yourself going from the lead of the pack, getting bumped to the back like NASCAR, and having to go to the back of the pack to compete at the next division when you go to nationals. And so, we tried to make it to where we could come up with, create a gray area there instead of it being such a hard line, black or white decision based strictly on the numbers. We wanted to make sure that we factored in all of the other considerations that we could that gave everybody the opportunity to be competitive at home, but then also still come to nationals and enjoy that experience.
Yeah, and I think Rich, I'll let you thoughts on this. I know you've been one of the biggest proponents of, if player of the year is going to matter, then we need to keep people in their division through the year. And so why don't you share a little bit about that, and we can talk a little bit about Flight Flex after.
Yeah, I think every year for the last 3 or 4 years, I had players in either Phoenix or Chicago right before the local finals were going to get promoted. And to the point, last year we had one in Chicago who the other 3 guys that he'd been competing with all year said, "This is not right. We can't move him up. The 4 of us have been neck and neck, all season long. We can't do this." And so, it's something I know a couple years before that, and especially in Phoenix, it's tough because obviously we start earlier than most of the country. We're starting to play in November and we play all the way through the winter. Our season's almost done by the time a lot of these guys are just getting into the middle of their season. We have to scale it back a little bit when we get to the summer, because June, July, and August are a little warm. And so for people to get promoted that late, when they're only getting a chance to maybe play once a month the last few months, is tough.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, and we've made a conscious decision. Every other AM tour out there looks at an arbitrary number and says, "Hey, you're 0.1 below and you need to move," and that's how it is. And 0.1 below, when you look at it, is one shot over 20 rounds, which for most of our guys is a 2-year period. And so we started to look at those things, and we started to study like what's actually happening here, because a lot of people that are getting promoted mid-year are the people, at least last year, the people that had played 30 and 40 and 50 tournament rounds with us. And so we started to kind of study and pay attention to the data, and that's where the Flight Flex came in, that the more rounds you play in a season. Now there's a point, like when you hit the Flight Flex, we've had a couple hit it already, that once you're protected by this season-long Flight Flex, you're getting promoted to start the next season. So guys that are out there complaining about the guy, you see him, he's a 13.2 in Division 4. Why isn't he promoted? and he's played 30-some tournament rounds. That's great, but he's going next year, but we're going to give him a chance to finish it off and be player of the year. Now, there's limits to that. Like, we're watching. If he starts throwing a bunch of, Division II scores or Division III scores out there, we're going to be like, hey, man, because Jin's like a you know what I mean? And he's showing that he can do it somewhere else, and that, this isn't just, hey, I've worked hard and gotten better throughout the season. We're going to move him, but we're giving people the ability to kind of stay through. And the other thing for the American asking, there's absolute movement once we get to the local finals. It's done.
Yeah.
So D5, go shoot your 68 in the local finals if you can. And we may reevaluate if that actually happens, but it hasn't to this point. So if you're validated, there's no flight movement once you get to your local finals.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out that this is now the system that we're currently playing under is something that's been developed and tweaked and constantly reviewed and looked at, and with input from not only us and the executive branch, but also chapter owners and players across the country, to where we've settled on this system that we have now that we think is the most fair for the players, both those that are at the top of their division, but also the ones that are chasing them, and the rest of the folks that are in the field. And so, that's again, you asked what was the motivations for starting this tour? That's one of the things is that we wanted some more flexibility and a system in place and a team around us, which is something that Matt and I have done with Rich and Matt Fegley and all the guys that have come on board to help us kind of form an advisory committee to make sure that we are improving this thing on a year-to-year basis and not just sitting back and going, well, I don't need any help. And I'm just going to go by whatever this data point says, and that way it's black and white, and I can just tell people I don't want to have the conversation with you. We're just going to do this because that's what the numbers say. We want to make sure that we're investing the time and energy, the manpower, and really just investing back in the members and the players to make sure that, again, this is all about their experience and that they're enjoying what they're getting for the money that they're investing in this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's interesting. We were flying back from Phoenix last night and land in O'Hare at 9:30 at night. The handicap committee meeting starts at 8. And so I land and I'm like, oh, I wonder what happened. They're still very much in that meeting at 9:30 last night, with multiple players talking through. I got a phone call this morning. I should have just logged in at 9:30 when we landed, and we're in our 40-minute taxi at O'Hare. Just to check in and see how things were going. Sorry to dog on your airport, Rich, but it takes forever to get anywhere at that place. And, got a call this morning about, certain questions they wanted, Jody and my input on. But, there's a ton of players on it. They care. They want to make the competition fair. They're out listening to other players. And it's been one of the things, and I know Fegley's not on. He's been dealing with some family health stuff, and so he may not be around as much as I'd like him to be around, certainly for a while. But the amount of time that dude has put in to creating a culture where players can have a voice, I mean, it is unmatched, and we're so blessed to have that. And you're seeing it works really, really well. You're seeing a model that I'm not ashamed to post our net scores on social media. The handicaps are accurate and nobody's stealing the money every week, and I would defend it until the day is long. And when we have an exceptional round, it's from somebody that's, played like Maramis's 76 at Bedford, which was truly an exceptional round. He's had 77 posted tournament scores with us in the last 14 months. And none of them were under 80. Congrats, great plan. I wanted it up at Greyhawk last week, but it was a great win at Bedford.
But I think you make a good point in that as a chapter owner, 5 years ago when I first started doing this, if someone was going low and having a career round, my thought was, oh crap, here we go. this is going to be bad. Now
I'm going to have to deal with this.
Yes, I'm going to have to deal with this. Now I get to cheer for this guy because we know him, because he's played with us, because we've vetted him in all these different ways, because the competition committee has made sure that it's fair competition. And so I don't have that pit in my stomach anymore when I see a guy having a great day. I get excited for him. And that's how it should be.
It's something like 2,100 handicap surveys have been submitted like this year. Like, so they've reviewed 2,100 players, which is, by the way, more than the amount of new members that we have for this year. And so people sending just a handicap questionnaire, getting things right. I'd be remiss, one of the things we announced while we were out in Scottsdale that I'm really excited about, we should probably talk about it on the live tonight if people haven't teased about it on the live for a while, but that's the partnership with PDI and our guys out of Connecticut. I know, Jody, you went with us in December. You took the PDI, got to see what they're all about. What was kind of your thought through that experience? What did you kind of learn about your game? And
I think going into it, not really knowing what they were looking for and how they were going to use the data to give me feedback as a player. But once you start getting into it, you go through the physical test, and then you start kind of putting two and two together of, okay, I understand what they're trying to do, find weaknesses, and then give me tips on how I can work on that. So, you have to, like anything else, you have to create a baseline first. And once you establish that baseline, then you have something to measure off of. And in this case, you're measuring performance and ability. And so, I think it's going to be a very helpful thing, certainly for those that are serious about improving their game and improving their physical ability to compete.
No, absolutely. I mean, one of the things, and I'm gonna spend a couple of days with them next week, heading back to their office in Connecticut. I'm hoping to get an hour with the founder for one of these Thursday nights. We'll record it, pre-record it, and play it one of the Thursdays that we're all traveling. And that's Roger Nick. If you haven't got a chance to introduce yourself to him, he's a great guy. We love working with him. Exciting things ahead with those guys. But one of the things they talk about in PDI all the time that I love is they talk about lead factors, right? It's really tough to measure ability golf based on score because a lot of things that can happen. You know what I mean? You can hit a drive down the middle of the fairway and it hits a sprinkler head and it can kick 50 yards right into the stuff, and you can hit it 50 yards right in the tree. It goes in the middle of the fairway. You can make a foot putt and it, and that determines. And so this measures lead factors. And so one of the big things that we're looking forward to do is really understand not only there's the improvement, and the development piece of this for our members to take advantage of. They've got a subscription that takes your assessment, gives you drills and coaching and tip as you walk through. But one of the things that helps for us, looking at scores, gives us a really interesting data set to make sure that we're putting people of similar skills in divisions together where they can compete equitably and do something that nobody else has attempted to do. And I'm really excited as we get the data for that.
Yeah, I think as we continue to have the conversation about senior tees, proper flighting, all of these things, this is another metric that will allow us to evaluate each member to find out exactly, give us much more detailed data as to where they are really belong, rather than just looking at maybe some numbers on a page over the course of 12 months or something along those lines. So, getting the PDI score, getting somebody in assessed and having that assessment data on the front end, particularly for newer members, newer players, I think is going to be very, very helpful.
No, absolutely. And just so you know, with them, it's called the Know Your Game Initiative. And so everybody on here watching this, I encourage you between now and May 31st. I haven't even told you we're doing this, Jody, so I apologize. Don't give too much of a face. I know I
haven't had anything else going on.
I know, right? But if you take the self-assessment, which is a completely free self-assessment, takes like 20 minutes to do on the driving range, we're going to be giving away an entry to the North American Championship at Weekapaw. And so a paid entry will We'll pay your entry fee. Eligibility requirements still apply. So you got to get your 6 rounds in for handicap purposes. But to do that self-assessment is free. You download the Pi app. It's for free in the App Store, Google Play. Your name and email that you signed up with Blue Golf, we'll match it. We're at the phase right now, do the self-assessment. We're collecting data. We've already seen some really fascinating from people that have submitted the self-assessment. People in the chat have already done the self-assessment. And then, members can get access to the PDI portal. It's $50 a year. You get access to Coach Pete, which will give you all kinds of tools and extra better your game based on your self-assessment to deal with those weaknesses. But now through May 31st, you can win an entry to the 2026 North American Championship. So take those self-assessments and we'll see where this goes. But we're excited. This is definitely innovative. Nobody's ever tried this in the amateur golf space. It's big in the junior golf space. It's huge in the college space. A lot of college coaches, especially D1 college coaches at some of the most major programs in the U.S., are using PDI to evaluate their athletes and to help them in recruiting. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how it fits into amateur golf, and we're excited to carry that torch forward.
I'm going to have to stop coming on these Thursday night lives. Every time I'm on here, you're giving something away.
So it happened.
He's going to do it whether you're on or not. You just don't have to witness it.
That's right. That's right. Ignorance is truly bliss.
So you do not have part of the assessment. You can just say, I can't jump. It's completely fair.
I think he did do it. He said he thought he pulled his hamstring.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't do it with a friend where you're competing.
It was quite interesting to watch you and Fegley go head to head in the assessment.
Fegley's much more flexible than me. I will give him that. That is for sure.
But he doesn't hit it as far as you do.
No, he does not. Swing speed is still an issue for the old boy.
Yeah, it's all good. We can't pick on him too much since he's not here to defend himself. But partnership with PDI, we're excited. The other partnership we announced is with Get Clubs. I'm excited about this one as well. Part of the Worldwide Golf family. They're a competitor to Shipstick. I'll probably describe them for that. But if you go to the press release on our website, there's a code for $50 off your first order. For APT members, there's going to be another discount that'll be permanent once the intro period. But try them out. They do a bunch of really cool stuff because they're tied in also with club rentals and things like that. So if you're shipping clubs across the country, if you don't want to deal with the airline baggage fees, things like that, Get Clubs is a great offering, very affordable. And they've also got some protections for if something were to happen, rental clubs and things like that. But it's been a great service so far. We got to spend some time with their owner, who just got acquired by Worldwide. Great guy, super passionate about the game and competing. And I think they'll be a great partner for us. So bringing that out there as well.
Love it.
Seeing some great comments. I really wish the PDI guys were on the live tonight to answer some of it. So I did see earlier one of the comments, Dan Henris asked, can National Players of the Year come to the Champions Dinner? Yes, you will be getting an invite here in the next month or two to the Champions Dinner. Place to be determined. Ches, we still got to decide which one we're doing. We had 2 meals there this week. They both were pretty fantastic. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we're not gonna go wrong. I think it's a matter of just figuring out which menu you prefer, but they're both great.
Yeah, so I will tell you, we will be love some Old Town. And Jody, you'll be able to be there this time, so it'll be good.
Good Lord willing, and the crease don't rise.
So, free shipping to NAC for the PDI winner. Wow.
Yeah, right. Give Matt an incentive to give something else away.
I don't need it. Take care of our members, man. Don't be hateful.
You're doing good.
I think, Chaz, we got a little bit of time left. What should we talk about APT related?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. Well, we covered Flight Flex. That's the big one I've been getting emails about. And then, the other thing a lot of people are asking besides how do I qualify for North American Championships is what are my chances of getting in? I mean, because there's some guys that'll play 6 events and don't get in the priority exemption. I have a feeling it's going to be a popular event this year. What would your advice be to someone who really, really wants to play in the North American Championships in terms of getting in? I mean, I think this one's going to sell out quick.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is you got to get involved in your local chapter. It's really easy. A lot of guys just want to play. Some of the guys just want to play the round. We're not really set up for that. It's not really our thing. I mean, we turn away probably 15 or 20 guys a year from some of our, premier events because they want to get in the premier events and they don't because they don't have the priority exemption. Set up. It's very intentional why we've talked caps, and if you understand the handicaps, you'll it makes sense, right? Is it all starts at the local level and builds. And so if you've got somebody asking you, what do I need to do in the NAC? Get involved in your local chapter and start playing events. The vast majority of priority exemptions earned all come from your finish in your local chapter. It's based on the size of your chapter, how many spots. I think at the top tier, it's the top 8 in every division. Then it goes 6, 4, and 3, maybe. Don't quote me. It's in the member manual. I did write it, but don't know what it is off the top of my head. You put me on the spot. But it's all in there based on chapter size. And so if you're playing events in your local chapter, it's getting into that priority exemption is huge. But if you don't, there's always spots when it opens up. But I will tell you, it sells out within 48 hours of opening to everybody. And so if for some reason you don't get a priority exemption, but you are exempt qualifying, make sure.
Mark your calendar.
July 31. It'll open on the live. It's our new tradition. So, but definitely playing the local events. It's no fun to go to a big national event with people from all over the country that aren't vetted. Like the secret sauce of our tour is our biggest events are always fueled by people that have committed to playing local events, which is why we don't have the handicap issues of the people that are only playing the big events. That's the secret sauce. So sorry I'm giving it away, Jody, but when you have everybody that are playing similar course setups across and you put them all together, the competition is going to be fair because everybody's been vetted by playing in their local chapter. And that's something that we set up as a value from the very beginning. And so, like I said, getting in the NAC, if you're worried about it, get involved in your local chapter and start playing some events.
That's the best way.
Yep. John asked, want to confirm I can travel play in required events all over the country and only play in chapter finals? That is correct. So you may not win your local player of the year by not playing in your local chapter, but you can certainly compete for all of that. And yes, Daniel, your wife is allowed to come to the Champions Dinner. So, but your wife should not be your playing partner that you traveled with to the NAC. We don't allow that. So if you're not actually married and have consummated the relationship, you're not eligible to attend the Champions Dinner as a +1.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I won't name any names. So, but quite interesting. But that's a good night. It'll be a fun time at the NAC. So we got a couple minutes for questions. Unless Jody, you got something on your mind you want to talk about?
Nope, I'm just coming in, swooping in hot here.
You're just
what do we have going on this weekend? We got any big events this weekend? I know Chicago, we've got one Saturday and Monday for our Chicagoland Cup, but I think there's a handful of Mother's Day weekend. We went on either side of Mother's Day. We stayed off Mother's Day, but we played Saturday and Monday. I had to get clearance from the tower on that one, but I thought I saw a couple of big ones out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, most people that had events scheduled on Mother's Day, they did cancel. That's the big one this weekend is Mother's Day. That, just so you know, for everybody on the live, the big event this weekend is on Sunday, and it's Mother's Day.
That is correct.
Hallmark Cards, thank you for your investment.
Right. This message is sponsored by Hallmark.
Yeah.
If only we could get them to pay us for that. That would be awesome.
Nashville has the Greystone event on Saturday. So,
Right.
which
That's
after last year's debacle out there, the place is in great shape this year. They've really got it fixed up, and so excited to see it. I'm actually going to get to play in a Chamber of Commerce slap and giggle tomorrow. So Don Weiss and myself and a few others will be out there.
Nice.
First time in a really long time I've touched them, so I can't have no expectations whatsoever.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You know, this weekend we've got an event in St. Louis, 106 players, 107 players, Saturday. And then for me next weekend, I'm going to Seattle, new leadership in Seattle. So I'm going to go up there and hang out with them. And they've got Chambers Bay at the end of the month.
That'll be good.
Which does not suck. I just want to say. So
not at all.
Excited about that. We've got PJ National is sold out for 3 days, Memorial Day weekend. And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Ambrier in St. Louis. And there are, well, in the field, there are 6 spots left. If you want to get in the largest 2-day tournament we've ever ran.
It's not going to be nerve-wracking or difficult for us at all. It'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
It's actually easier than 160 straight tee because you just double tee twice. We have the whole golf course.
So, Matt won't be looking at his weather app all week long at all.
Gotta love that weather.
That is a great app, by the way.
Great partners of the APT.
Yes.
If you don't have it and you need weather app, that would be the one I would recommend. It's really, really good.
I do want
the.
Go ahead, Jody. Go ahead.
I was going to say we had an event in Chicago last week, and that came in handy. I actually told the golf course exactly when we were going to have to come off the course, and it was within like 3 minutes. It was that good.
It's quite comical when you talk to them. Like, how do you know that?
Yeah. Well, and then it gives you updates. So I left. It was Bowes Creek that we were at. I left Bowes Creek in there, and I got a notification while we were at Greyhawk about lightning, and I was like, "Oh no, not right now!" But it wasn't for Greyhawk; it was for Bowes Creek. I forgot to turn it off.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. We do have to give a shout out to Kirk and Brenda in Denver. They've got over 100 players for Todd Creek. We did talk them into it. So I apologize, Brenda, you can yell at me, but we are super excited for you guys in Denver. That's a pretty crazy accomplishment considering 2 years we didn't have a chapter, and now it's one of the largest chapters in the PT. They've worked their off really well.
Yeah, they're part of the boom out west.
Yep. Absolutely. We're filling in nicely out there.
Yep.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Ignite Broadband because for all the crap I've gotten over the last several years of doing these, Mender's got the crappiest internet connection tonight. So
we've got fiber. They're digging fiber right now. Yeah. So
Ignite Broadband, baby. I'm back.
Nice. So super proud of you. Are you at the house?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't have to leave my house to go to my office in order to be able to jump on one of these things now.
Look at you.
Who said the rednecks in Tennessee can't figure out how to make the internet work?
I'm telling you. So accomplishing something. Super proud of you.
Right? But, Just don't look at our congressional maps.
Right. It's going to be interesting. So a couple of good new major venues for 2027 we've been booking. A couple that we've re-signed we're excited about. So definitely stay tuned for the schedule. I think I might have got the last of the fall/winter series booked
Sweet.
today. Hopefully we'll find out. So there's a little negotiating. So it's funny. She goes, it was really just a math problem for us. I said, well, you do your math problem, then I'll do my math problem, and we'll decide if it works. And you could just see the look on her eyes. And I was like, I got to make it fit in my budget. I told you what it is. And so if you can make your math problem work, let me know. If you can't, it's all good. I'll call somebody else. So I think we're in good shape there. It was quite the interesting negotiation this afternoon. But can announce that we're turning to from Myrtle Beach Holiday Classic December 12th and 13th, True Blue in Caledonia. We've already announced a Swag Golf Club. The Swag Golf Club finale is going to be the 9th and 10th there, which will be a member guest format. There's no memberships to Swag Golf Club. It's just a member guest. So grab your party, 45 holes of match play with a horse race in between. So we're going to have some fun with that. And then, you can stay in town. So play True Blue Caledonia for a week is never a bad thing.
It's a pretty good trip.
So, and the other one we've teased a little bit, but we'll just keep refreshing people until we get the official announcement out. In the third weekend of October, we've got back to Omni Homestead, which, by the way, the Cascades course just got voted the #1 golf course in Virginia by Golf Week magazine. So happy to be there. Hosted a couple USGA championships in the past few years. Hosting a couple more in the next few years, and urge on an Omni hotel to take your wife. The Homestead is probably my pick of the litter. That place is awesome. The oldest resort in the United States, like 23 presidents have stayed there. The President's Bar is pretty stinking cool. When you see all the pictures of all the different presidents that have stayed there, starting with Thomas Jefferson. So a lot of history in that place, natural hot springs, and there are healing properties that are still in effect. You can still, go. And I'm not a spa guy, so I'm going to butcher that if I keep going. But really good place to take your wife. Would be a great Mother's Day present. If you haven't figured it out, I'm going to take you to Omni Homestead. And there happens to be a golf tournament, but we can go to the spa.
There you go.
I'm not sure if you actually want to do that or not, but I'm not doing that for the Mother's Day gift because my wife would kill me.
She prefers cash.
She's standing backstage going, "You're not wrong." So we got a minute if anybody's got any questions before we sign off. I get beat.
Nobody? Anyone? Bueller?
It's been pretty quiet on the question front today. I guess we're explaining things well.
There we go.
That's good. Who's going to win the NBA Finals?
Someone from the West.
Okay, thanks.
I'm loving the Timberwolves. Loving the T-Wolves.
I don't know how the T-Wolves are staying alive the way with all the injuries, but they look intriguing. I just think Oklahoma City is still. I mean, until someone beats them, they're the team to beat.
Yeah,
that's safe.
I was just hoping you were going to say, the Timberwolves with all those Illini players.
Yeah, that's not coming out of my mouth. They are, but I mean, since they're all Illini players, we're probably going to see them fizzle out here pretty soon because they only get so close and then they fall on their faces.
So hateful. So hateful. So, well, we'll be back next Thursday. I think we'll be live. I'll be from Seattle, so that'll be fun.
It'll be daughter's wedding rehearsal eve for me. Second daughter's wedding next week from Saturday.
Yes, we did have one good question in the chat we can talk through. Do elevated events match the same as majors? So in the national, he said for the national player of the year. National year counts 2 elevated events and up to 3 majors separately. So it is the same point value per player, but they are separate in the national player of the year. And the local player of the year, it's elevated events or majors. Nick wants to know, we didn't talk about this. Are there any Cinco de Mayo head covers left to buy? I think there might be like 2 left. Those things got taken. Those things were unbelievably good.
Sounds like a Folds of Honor auction is in the works.
Yeah, I very rarely had a host course want to come steal the head covers, but it happened this last event.
I appreciate Dennis setting aside a Black Desert head cover for me.
Yeah, turned out good.
That was pretty sweet too.
I will say the T gifts at PJ National and Ambrier are both really good. So it's going to be a fun summer on the T gift front.
There we go.
Stay tuned. We will get on something called the Mulligan section, which is all the T gifts of, we always order a couple extras. And so if you see a T gift that you really like, you didn't get to go to the tournament, you can usually pick them up pretty cheap in the Mulligan section of the store. You can use your credit on it. Great way if you're trying to save some money in your credit to take care of that. So, but yeah. Any final thoughts, Jody?
Nope, good. I'm just glad to be back, ready for summer to start. Let's go.
Absolutely. Rich, your final thoughts?
Playing those local events. The North American Championships are going to come up faster than you think.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we're like 3 months out now. So working through it, but appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll be back next Thursday. We'll have some more stuff for you guys, but until then, play well this weekend, and don't forget Mother's Day. So don't let us be the ones that didn't tell you. So we'll see you guys next week.
Get there.
Get there.
Get there.
Get there. Those 2 words are said by golfers all over the world as a sign of respect, a whisper of encouragement, a roar of support. It's what we say to our competitors, our loved ones, our heroes. It's what we say to ourselves.
Get there.
At Worldwide Golf, we're like you. We strive to improve our game, to elevate our standards, and transcend our limits. Our commitment is to the journey, to the tradition, and to the spirit of golf that unites us all. Since 1963, Worldwide Golf has been there to supply golfers with the equipment and apparel they need to drive their journeys forward. With over 100 retail locations spread across 10 retail brands and the best golf e-commerce websites, we have exactly what every golfer needs for however they choose to play. All of this done to help golfers who want to be their best get there. We are golfers, and we're here for golfers. We built a brand around evolving the game and having what you need to play your way, and it shows in every product we offer and every experience we provide. Our goal is singular, to help you get there. Though the game may change, our mission remains: to stand beside you, to grow with you, to celebrate every victory and learn from every shot. Worldwide Golf. Get there.